Maybe you've been told your whole life that we need to strive for happiness. But what if happiness isn't our final destination? What if there's more than just happiness? And what if more isn't always better? My next guest is Meg Grasmick. She wrote a book called Always Rising. Meg, welcome.
Thank you. It's so great to be here.
You're a deep thinker. I can't wait to begin to dive in, but let's start with the overall message of Always Arising.
Yeah, so Always Arising is really about the power of framing your narrative. And yeah, our culture has always told us happiness is the answer. That's what we're supposed to be chasing after. And we never quite get there. We always think we're going to arrive at this perfect chapter or destination in life. And there's always something that's not quite right. And even if we get to where we wanted to go, we're just going to want more. So I find that really tapping into equilibrium and fulfillment, to be in the blissful state of okayness, is really where we want to be.
Oh, I have to think people say, well, money doesn't buy happiness, and a job promotion doesn't buy happiness. They still hold happiness as like the goal of what we're trying to achieve. And you're talking about having more than that. You're talking about arriving versus arising. Let's talk about the differences with that first.
Yeah, well, I think that also just people can have all of those things and still be miserable, right? So really arriving versus arising. So, it's not about where we get to. It's about rising above the temptation to fixate on that ideal future, because the present moment is really the only thing that exists. The future doesn't even exist. It's only in our heads.
Oh, the present. That's what's real. Being content is basically what you're saying too, right?
Yeah, and it goes against our instincts, really. We're always, because of evolution, we're primed to keep thinking one step ahead, to keep moving, keep going. But really, it's about finding peace within ourselves that can sustain us through all of life's challenges and through all of the suffering that we're going to encounter in life. And happiness is really something that surprises us, something we can find along the way, but it's not the ultimate destination.
It's like our lives are little chess games, and we strategically try to move the pieces to bring us to the final win of happiness. And that's not necessarily where we want to be. I have to ask you, what motivated you to write this book? Did something big happen in your life that you're like, that's it, happiness isn't the end all?
Yeah, I think when I graduated college, I found myself thinking so much about happiness that everything in my life needed to be just right. I needed to figure everything out. And I actually moved from California to New York City, and it was a really big transition, and it gave me a lot of time to think. I had been going through a lot of things, and I really used the book as a tool to move through that suffering. And it taught me a lot about myself. And I was, my hope is that my message can help other people get through those struggles and really figure out what is their goal.
You talk about having a mindset that moves you from seeking happiness to true fulfillment. What would changing the narrative look like with that?
You really want to pay attention to the story you're telling yourself, because you're always telling yourself a story, and you want to make that a beautiful story, because you are the author. You're the one that's writing the story of your life. You're the narrator that's making sense of what's happening. So really, we want to make our minds a place we want to spend time in, a place that's healthy for us.
You talk about something in your book that just really blew me away. And again, we're talking with Meg Grasmick about Always Arising. You said that we are always in a relationship with ourselves. And it just like, whew, yes, I talk to myself. My mind, the voice in my head is the loudest voice in my life. That it was so powerful.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of us put a lot of stock into romantic relationships, and really in our 20s and 30s, we're going through casual dating, looking for a commitment. We aren't really sure what we want. But really, at the end of the day, all you have is yourself. You are the only one you can rely on. So you want to be your own best friend. And even, when you're dating or looking for a relationship, that's the center to come back to.
Yourself.
Yeah.
Did 2020, was that a profound year for you? Did you gain a lot of insight through that?
Definitely. So I started writing the book when I was in New York, just in coffee shops, but really during quarantine was when I really dove into it. And I think what I was experiencing when I started the book was really isolation, living in the city and not knowing a lot of people, feeling a little lost, a little out of sorts. And I think that became a theme for all of us in this global moment, is just feeling that isolation, not feeling connected to people anymore, even now, not really knowing what's ahead, and maybe having lost some relationships. But we, want to sustain those emotional connections, and really the connection we have with ourselves and with other people to keep us strong.
I think sometimes we go through challenges and we look at them as a setback, like, oh, I just lost a part of the game or something. You don't see challenges like that. You see those as a step forward.
Really, someone told me once that every challenge is an opportunity for growth. Really, you can turn anything into an opportunity for growth, and that reframing really allows you to live with abundance.
Wow. What would you tell yourself 5 years ago?
Oh, that's a really good question. That's a tough one. I think I would give myself a different message from really 2017 when I graduated college. Is this is it. This is life. There's not some big moment where you're going to arrive. There's not going to be one time where you feel like you have it all figured out, where everything is perfect. That's imaginary. That's only in our imaginations, and we just need to have that gratitude present in our lives all the time, without needing more.
Do you think that social media has played into young people feeling like they're competing with other people, and the happiness they see online, it doesn't look like my happiness? Maybe their happiness is better. I don't know.
Yeah, I think everyone pretty much realizes now that they're highlight reels, and I hope that young people can remind themselves that that's not real. That's not real life. This is just people showing beautiful moments, beautiful pictures, and that doesn't show the struggles they're going through. And another thing is, social media, we're always looking for something, but what are we looking for? Do we ever take a moment to stop scrolling and say, what am I really looking for? What's going to do it for me? What post, what dopamine rush, So it's really important to keep all of those pressures, to have a sober understanding of what social media actually is. It's really, these companies just want your attention for advertisements, and it's not real life.
Right. It's not real life. Meg, thank you so much. We're kind of running out of time, but where's your book available?
My book is available on Amazon, actually, and a few other places online. But yeah, just hop on Amazon, Always Rising, Meg Grasmick. You'll find my book there.
And Meg, real quick, can you just talk about the importance of giving authors reviews, what that means to you?
Yeah, that's actually really important to me. That positive feedback is encouraging for me. It's encouraging for other people. So definitely write a review.
Yeah, absolutely. And it shows that people are engaging. You don't have to absolutely love it. We hope that you love it, but it's giving ratings isn't about fake, approval or anything. We just want to show people that it's being read and that it's being engaged with, it's being consumed. So thank you so much for your consideration of that. Meg, I think especially for your age, you have just a wealth of wisdom. I certainly am walking away feeling a little bit better, understanding that we need to live in the moment, be content, and happiness, the way the movies picture it and social media, it's just not reality,
Yeah, I think everyone has that wisdom in themselves, and it's just a matter of hearing your own voice.
Meg, thank you for joining us today. Have a great day.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.